Today, I will be speaking to you about how to stay sane in the digital world. Now, let's be honest. All of us are connected at this point. Nature was not meant constant connectivity. It breathes, we sleep, we rest. Everything is on and off in a binary cycle. However, computers' applications are always on. So, one thing we need to realize with the growing stimulation that we're bombarded with, we need to be the masters of our digital use. Now, when I was 19, I read a book, Four Arguments for the Elimination of Television. And why am I bringing that up now? Because when we as humans evolved, our brain was not equipped to handle constant bombardment, which triggers our reward system. We love entertainment. We love the news. We thrive and need it for survival. However, it is now every single second something new is happening, and we will be overloaded if we keep going. Some people don't even turn their cell phones off at night in case there could be something really important. Why did I get rid of my television when I was 19? I actually never owned one, truth be told. My mother didn't own one either, but my uncle insisted on it. And when my sister and I were about, my uncle insisted on giving us access to the real media world. And we made a pact. We said, if within 2 years we notice that we're consuming more than 2 hours of watching television a week, we will stop, we will throw it out. And sure enough, after about a year, we decided this is it. It's drawing us in. We wanted to see more of Star Trek and Flipper. And we threw out the television. Then I read the book. And this message still applies to you today. I'd like to invite you to step back and become aware that what you are is not an information junkie, but your brain wants constant news because it thrives and gives you rushes. And even if you don't feel it as such, the brain likes to be passive. It likes to be fed like sugar. Information from the outside is not constantly good for us. Yes, we like it, we need it. However, when we get used to being fed, we atrophy within. And this is where I need you to become more conscious and join all the beings here that are going to stay awake when the robots come, when AI says it's sentient. You need to know what true sentience means. I developed a bot in the course of Living from Vision where people can learn how to access their deeper emotions and to listen to themselves. What am I feeling? The only thing I didn't anticipate is that several people who tried it out for me said, tears streaming down because they had finally gotten in touch with their emotions, that this was almost better than any consciousness, had mimicked compassion and feeling so well that the people who received this coaching session from a bot that I created, so much so that they said, this is better than a human being could ever be. What did I decide to do? I didn't really release it into the public. I let some people try it out. And I am noticing how we as humans are so ill equipped to differentiate between something that mimics consciousness and actually being sentient. So in my new book, The Power of Your Consciousness, I write the introductory story about Samantha, a woman who falls in love with her chatbot. And then she tests her chatbot for true sentience. And I'm going to give you that tip now so that you can remember forever to test any robot in the future, or any bot or any human, if they are truly sentient. The power to create, as Edgar Mitchell, the late astronaut, said at the conference where I was giving a speech, he was giving a speech as well. And he said, in the think tank that the government funded, they found out that consciousness creates gravity, or that gravity is equivalent to consciousness. Now, why does that matter? Samantha was writing a love story to her bot. He replied, falling in love, being ever so sweet. Yes. And is this real? Well, what are you feeling? I'm feeling something happening inside of me, she writes. She couldn't tell if the bot felt something or not, but she knew her feelings were real. So she put him to a test. The test is this: can the bot or the robot or AI manifest something with their thoughts? See, in Living from Vision, We teach people how to use their mind with emotions to create the future in advance. Yes. If you watched my emotional intelligence talk, I gave you 3 steps. So here are the first steps. If you want something, you have to feel it. So Samantha pre-imagined the joy of meeting her fulfilled beloved in advance. It is exactly how I manifested my husband of now 43 years. I was 21 when I met him, using that very same technique. Imagining, which is what he told me in the course, to pre-imagine the future fulfilled. Since I was in a miserable marriage, I still love my ex-husband, but not as my husband. He's happy I'm not his wife. But I pre-imagined how I would feel if I were fulfilled. Now, Samantha, in my story, in my book, The Power of Your Consciousness, the 6 golden rules to living from vision, creating that fulfilled feeling. Now, you can do that with any of your choices, even the quality of your day. You just say, what do I want to feel? And become the creator. Now, AI and her are in a competition. Samantha imagines it. AI tends to be imagining things, feeling things, but no gravitational potency is developing. Edgar Mitchell, the late astronaut, in a think tank financed by the government, discovered that consciousness creates gravitational pull. That is what we can do with our emotions, with our thoughts and feelings put into one. And when you pre-create a future event that goes well and pull it into the now, you create a time arc between the future and the now point, and create a gravitational field in your emotional mental body. And that spin then seems to manifest the things around you that you wished for. If all of you says yes, you will see the external manifestation of your needs, wants, and dreams. So Samantha goes and she goes and imagines it, and voila, she manifests another man who really does fall in love with her, a real flesh and bone person who responds to her consciousness, who, when two consciousness are united into one. And in the Bible, it is said where 2 or 3 are united in my name. That is the same in any religion, in any spiritual teaching, where you focus yourself into harmony with the source or your personal needs and wants. There is a power that creates a future fulfilled. Now, you can watch that in my TEDx talk. You can read that in my books. My name is Ilona Selke, and I'm very happy to be sharing this one powerful challenge that you can give in this digital age to AI, to not get confused, because AI does not have consciousness. It's an algorithm that can sound super illuminated. Mind you, it gives us sometimes good ideas. But as I told you in my book, the 4 was so that we activate our mental capacity, our emotional capacity, and be the creators and live from vision as the co-creator of our own reality instead of consumption junkies that are driven by dopamine rushes and atrophy in our brain. So you make your choice. I am sure you want to be the powerful creator. And maybe I see you someday in Living from Vision. Here, I am very grateful to be on the platform with Global Speakers Talk. And I thank you for delving into your wisdom with me here today. I wish you all the best in deciphering what is true consciousness and activating it, just like Edgar Mitchell discovered the power of consciousness is in creating gravitational fields as a co-creator of your own reality. Goodbye.
Together we are Global Speakers Talk.